Hello my fishing friends and welcome back to the channel. It's your buddy, your expert angler, here to break down the bite for the 2nd of November 2025. Now I know what you're thinking. Early November, the weather can be a bit of a toss-up across the vast stretches of the United States. But don't you worry, because today we're going to dive deep into what this particular late fall day has in store for us. I've scoured the internet for the most relevant data, and let me tell you, this day is looking to be quite an interesting one. We're on the cusp of some significant changes, and knowing how to adapt will be key to a successful outing. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's talk about catching some fish. All right, let's get right into the heart of the matter. What's biting and how to get 'em? Based on what we can expect for early November across the USA, we'll focus on 4 fantastic species that love this transitional period. First up, my friends, the ever-popular largemouth bass. As water temperatures continue their steady drop into the upper 60s and low 70s, these beauties are still actively feeding, preparing for the colder months. You'll want to target them in shallower areas where baitfish are congregating, especially early in the day. Look for those sunny, wind-sheltered coves and points, or the edges of deeper cover like brush piles and timber. On the retrieve, think slower presentations. My little trick here: start with a spinnerbait. A double willow leaf is great, keeping it just under the surface, especially if you see any schooling activity. As the day progresses and the water cools, transition to a finesse jig or a Ned rig, working the bottom slowly around those deeper structures. If the water clarity is good and the temps haven't completely plummeted, a glide bait can still draw out some aggressive strikes from bigger fish. Remember, they want a substantial meal this time of year. Next, let's talk about those delicious crappie. This time of year, crappie are really starting to school up, making them a prime target if you can find them. They'll be moving into rivers and creeks, chasing baitfish, and often holding around deep water structures like brush piles, submerged timber, or channel bends. A fantastic tactic for them right now is long-line trolling with small, soft plastic jigs. Experiment with different weights, say 1/16, 1/24, and 3/32 ounce, and various natural colors like watermelon or blue glimmer if the water is clear. If it's a bit stained, don't be afraid to go with brighter electric chicken or sour grape patterns. Another pro tip: if you're jigging, try artificial jigging lures like small minnow imitations. Crappies are visual feeders, and these can be incredibly effective when worked slowly. For those of you up north or in cooler climates, the northern pike will be on fire. Early November is prime time for these aggressive predators. They'll be holding along the edges of dying weed beds, around submerged logs, and near drop-offs. The reason? Fall-spawning baitfish like tulipies and whitefish are moving into the shallows, creating a smorgasbord for big pike. You'll want to throw larger lures, big spoons, crankbaits, or even substantial flies and streamers if you're a fly angler. Don't be shy with your presentation. These fish are actively hunting and will hit a fast-moving, flashy target. Pay close attention to areas where you see any signs of baitfish activity. That's where the pike will be lurking. Now let's look at the general conditions shaping our fishing day, November 2nd, 2025. The weather. We can generally expect typical early November weather across much of the USA. This means crisp, cool mornings with air temperatures likely ranging from the low 40s to the mid-50s, possibly warmer in the southern states. Atmospheric pressure is key, my friends. Fish tend to bite best when the barometer is steady or slightly rising. A slow, gradual drop can actually trigger a feeding spree as fish sense an approaching change, but a rapid, sharp drop usually signals fish hunkering down and seeking shelter. Wind might be a factor, with cold fronts potentially bringing stronger gusts from the north, which can push baitfish and make the bite tougher. Keep an eye on those local forecasts. Precipitation is possible with cold fronts, and even the first light snowfall can occur in the upper Midwest. Remember, these are typical patterns for the season, as a precise forecast for a future date nationwide isn't available, but it gives us a good framework. Water temperature. The water temperature will be steadily falling across most of the country. In many freshwater lakes, expect temperatures to be in the upper 50s to low 70s, trending downwards. Southern coastal bays might see temps in the low 70s. This cooling trend pushes many species to deeper, more stable water, or to actively feed in warmer pockets before the full chill sets in. Fish are sensitive to these changes, so finding those slightly warmer areas, whether it's a sunny bank or a deeper thermal refuge, will be crucial. Moon phase. On November 2nd, 2025, we'll be in a waxing gibbous phase with the moon about 87 to 92% illuminated and growing. It's only 3 days away from the full beaver moon. Many anglers believe that a growing moon leading up to a full moon can stimulate feeding activity, often making for some excellent fishing, especially during periods of low light like dawn, dusk, or even night fishing, if conditions allow. This particular phase is often associated with moderate tides in coastal areas, which can also influence fish movement. Overall fish activity? Considering the cooling waters, the waxing gibbous moon, and the typical late fall patterns, I'm going to give the overall fishing forecast for this day a good rating, leaning towards excellent for properly prepared anglers. The fish are in late fall mode, meaning they're actively feeding to pack on calories before winter. This makes them predictable if you know where to look. While some species might be a bit capricious with rapid pressure changes, the general trend of falling temperatures combined with a strong moon phase suggests good opportunities, especially for those targeting bass, crappie, and pike. Focus on finding bait, identifying temperature breaks, and presenting your lures slowly and precisely. So there you have it, my friends, a detailed look at what to expect on the 2nd of November 2025. I wish you all tight lines and screaming reels. Remember, ni kwosta, ni cheshwi. Good luck out there. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming tips and tricks. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to lures for fall fishing? Have you had any monster catches this time of year? Share your stories. I love hearing from you all.